How's it? Today is Friday, it's April 3rd. Um, Today was a banded sumo deadlift day. So last week I did some cleans. It was kind of a deload week, so it was kind of just like up in the air. Last week I did cleans and then I did some banded sumo deadlifts up to 225 pounds. The week prior to that I was doing regular deadlifts or regular sumos at 275. And so Steve wanted me to start off banded sumo deadlifts for 5 sets of 5 at 275. I wasn't sure how hard it was going to be until I got around to 225, and I realized that last week I was doing 5 sets of 5. Um, I believe it was 5 sets of 5. Might have been 5 10s or 10. Whatever it was. It was a lot, and when I got to 225 right here, I realized that today is going to be a struggle. So I did one final warm up here, about 258 again. Our bumpers are in pounds, and then our change plates are in kilos for some odd reason. And then moving to my first set here. He really wanted me to focus on keeping my lower back extended, but I wasn't really able to do that on a lot of the reps. There were some reps that I did do it. So I messaged him about it, and he said as long as I'm not rounding my back, then I should be okay. And then another thing that we had to work on last week was pull a little bit slower from the floor, keep position, and then accelerate up towards the hip to lock out, which is something I kind of forgot for the first couple sets. And then between each rep, control the eccentric. You can see there, I remember it here. Control the eccentric. And yeah, these are just really hard. Not much else to say about it. I think in general, my hip has been up and down. My right hip. Right now, I'm lying down. It feels like it's pretty tight. It's slightly. It feels like there's something wrong with it. I'm not exactly sure what it is, because I can still kind of squat like the air squat without really warming up right now, but it just doesn't feel good. I'm going to continue doing some stretches before I go to sleep, but I really hope it's nothing serious. It's turning into something serious pretty quickly, so I really need to be careful. Yeah, these sets, as I near the fifth set, got really challenging. And then here's my fourth set. You see how my hips are they start extended, and then they kind of just get back to neutral. I feel that if I just let my hips kind of get closer to the bar, I can pull so much easier. It's much quicker. The position is much better, but that's not really what I'm practicing here. There you go. Those eccentrics are killing me. I thought when I started working out that my hip would give me some issues, but I honestly didn't feel anything when I was working out, when I was lifting. Here's my final set. So, because I haven't felt anything during the workout, I'm really curious to see why I'm feeling this hip issue, because I think it arose from doing the sumo deadlifts. Because my hip is kind of being jammed or my femur's being jammed into my hip, but it's really hard to tell because I don't feel any pain during the movement, which not entirely sure if that's a good or bad sign. I'm leaning toward like the edge of a good side, like right over the middle of a neutral, but we'll see what happens. So after that, I did some weighted pull-ups, work up to a heavy set of 3. This is 65 pounds. I did try to go to 70 for a set, but I could only get 2 reps. Did 6 total sets. So here's the warm-up thing that Steve is gonna implement towards the end of each workout, so that I can get the GPP up, general physical preparedness. That way, my workload itself is just significantly higher. So today it was he ideally wanted me to do a back extension, a hamstring curl, and then some sort of row, but we don't have the best way to set up the back extensions. I still haven't figured that out yet. I'm gonna try to figure it out tomorrow. So he threw in the good mornings in place of the back extension, and he switched the rows to these bad boys here, these band assisted pull-ups, because leaning forward, the hip hinge of the row would be a little bit much on my lower back, so he wanted me to keep this in here. He suggested I use both of the rubber bands here for assistance, and I was being stubborn, and so the first set I only used the black one, and the second set I wasn't able to do all 20 reps, so I put both of the bands on. I know it says black and purple, but this one only has the black, so that's the reason for that. Finished off with some barbell squat jumps. I sat around for a little bit after this between my sets, and then coming back again to finish the sets, my knees started giving me some kind of pain, and it felt really uncomfortable. I feel okay now, but something to note. That's it.